Hey, it's me. I don't know, my tablet just did a funky thing on me. Trying to figure out how to make this camera work. Good morning. 'Tis I underneath my old fart glasses. See, it really is me. So what am I doing this morning, you may ask? You might not either, but I'm going to tell you anyway. I'm doing some electrical work. Had a little mishap the other day, I guess. Clyde had done some welding on this thing, and she got a little toasty, and apparently some sparks got down the belly and fried some wires. So I went over to Highway Equipment, the Hyundai dealer where I bought the Kimmy, and they just happened to have, I'm trying to find where the camera, see these little connectors? I stopped at Napa, they didn't have any. So what it did, I guess the fire got in there and cooked them. But anyway, I got these little connectors, bag full of them. They actually gave them to me. So what I got to do, cook the end of that solenoid, but it's good. The solenoid still works, so I'll just put a zippy on there and plug it back in. But I'll show you here. I gotta do some soldering. Looks like my soldering iron is hot finally. I plugged it in. I got it plugged into my inverter in here. See if this thing is hot. Oh yeah, look at that. Oh, wow. Oh yeah, baby, that's ready to go. So what I got to do here, let's see where they hit it with fire extinguisher. I'm telling you what, man, fire is just not good. So they were welding. It was welding on this rack up here somewhere. Apparently a couple sparks got down in here and got this going. So as you can see, it fried the, I mean, they taped it up and tried to make it work, but they had the wires all taped together, you know, like shorting out the solenoids and stuff, and it wasn't functioning properly. And then yesterday afternoon I had, I don't know whether it was these wires or if it's the sensor, these sensors up in here. They said it's pretty typical for these to go bad because one pump just went completely flat. But it isn't the pump, thankfully. I got gut sick on that, but I just swapped sensor to sensor, and then it read the other one dead. So, and I stalled track, and it was running right up to 3,100 pounds. So it isn't the pumps. The pumps are good. So it's electrical issue. So I got digging, and I know he had this fire the other day. Luckily, it didn't get away. But anyway, yeah, so that was what, I think that's what's going on here. I got this solenoid, this thing, these wires I cut off, these, you know, that's that piece I got in the truck. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to snip these back and put new wire on from where they're cooked. See these? I mean, them guys had these taped together like that. Well, that's not going to work. You got, you know, a positive and a negative on that solenoid, so that's just, you know, it's not going to work. It's not going to energize the solenoid, right? It's going to short the, so I don't know if that's what the problem is, but you can see they're pretty messed up. Look at them. See? And these two were just completely melted together, and he's taped them back together that way, so that's not good. The rest of the harness I think is okay. I checked that out pretty good. This is where it goes up to that sensor. But if it was getting a bad reading from one of these, it's very possible that caused the issue. So I know I got this stuff to repair, so I'm going to go ahead and repair this and then go from there. I didn't have any colored zip ties, so I used flagging to remember where I got to put these back to. So there's 4 different solenoids there, and I don't want to cross them up. So anyway, this is exciting. It shouldn't take me too long, an hour or so. I'll have it back together, and if that doesn't work, I'll change this. Don't mind my mess in here. It's my office. I'm sitting in here because it's cold out and my fingers getting numb. So I got all my heat shrink stuff and my wire, and I went and I'm going to use 18 gauge wire. I got a couple of rolls of wire. I had 16 gauge in the truck, but it's too heavy. This was 18, so I got a couple of rolls of 18 gauge wire. So what I'm gonna do is redo these plugs, these little pluggy plugs, and put new pigtails on them. Hence the new wire here, and then I think I'm gonna solder them, the wire connectors back, and then I'll heat shrink them. I got a thing of heat shrink tubing. You know, this stuff here you put over the thing and heat it, shrinks it, keeps it water sealed. So anyway, all right, I'll do some of this and I'll get back to you in a minute. Okay, so I've successfully put one of these together. I think I got it figured out. And I ended up soldering the little ends on because I didn't like the crimp. So there's my one new plug ready to go. Should be good to go. So now I can just go ahead and either solder or wire connect these ends into the harness. Get rid of all the burnt stuff. So I got like 4 more of these to make, so I'll be back with you in a minute.